Hi, Caleb with Brownells here. Today we're going to be going over the installation of my favorite single stage trigger for the Remington 700, and that's the Elftmann Tactical ELF 700 SE. So we'll do a quick unboxing here before we get started. In the package, you're going to get the trigger itself. You're going to get your safety lever, which doesn't come attached. We'll go over that here shortly. The hardware for the safety lever. And 2 sets of springs. So these springs, well, I'll back up a bit here. As it comes, the spring kits that are already in it are the lightest it can be. So what these spring kits do here is they give you a wider adjustment range and a heavier weight. So we'll put these aside for now. So if you'll notice, we've already removed the factory trigger, so we'll go ahead and get started on the Elftmann install. From here we'll take the trigger mechanism itself, insert it onto the action, and then from there you'll notice your trigger pins for the Remington 700. You have one long pin and one short pin. Each pin has one beveled end. The first one we're going to use is going to be the short pin. The beveled end is going to go in first from the bolt catch side. Using a 3/32 punch, we're going to go ahead and tap it in. Now, before we can install the next pin, we're going to need to position the bolt stop and the spring. So if you'll notice on the bolt stop here, along that bottom flat edge, there's a notch. Now that notch is going to need to go under the bolt stop lever, which is integral to the trigger mechanism itself. You're just going to hook it under there, and then the bolt stop is going to fall into the slot that's cut in the action for it. From here we can take our bolt stop spring. Now the bolt stop spring has a leg that's cut on the back side of it, and that leg's going to need to be facing downward. Insert that next to the bolt stop. There's a slot cut in it in the action. Now from here what I like to do is take the bolt, lift up on that trigger mechanism a bit, and insert it into the action. What this is going to do is help keep that sear aligned when I push that rear pin in and give that pin clearance. And then from here, again taking the beveled edge of that pin, inserting that first. You're going to go through the bolt stop. You're going to go through the bolt stop spring, into the action, and then through the trigger mechanism. And you'll want to get that pin just flush with the back of the bolt stop. You can go ahead and depress the bolt stop lever and remove the bolt. Make sure the bolt stop has spring tension on it. Next we're going to go ahead and install our safety lever. From here we're going to go ahead and remove our screw and our hex wrench that comes with it. Now if you notice, the safety lever has a square cut in it, and either side of this trigger mechanism has that same cut, so it's fully ambidextrous. You can use this on a left or right hand rifle. This being a right hand rifle, we're going to go ahead and insert it onto the square cut notch on the trigger housing. And this is going to be a pretty tight fit, so what I like to do is get everything fit nice and flush, and then use the screw itself to use screw tension to tighten and press everything down. Put that on nice and snug, and check our safety lever. That functions fine. Now we can go ahead and insert our bolt and do a function check. Slide the bolt into the action, close it in the cocked position, and with the safety on, the sear does not drop. And then from here, safety in the fire position, and we have a nice clean trigger pull. Now the unique thing about this trigger is that all of the pivot points, the hammer and the sear, they're sealed around aircraft grade bearings, which makes everything extremely smooth. The trigger pull, the cocking of the bolt, the setting, everything is great. Everything's also CNC billet machined, so the tolerances are phenomenal. I mean, you can see here that everything is just a nice, smooth, solid fit. And this trigger shoe also comes in black or red. The set screw on the bottom is externally adjustable, so you can adjust your pull weight while the rifle itself is in the stock, which is great. If you have any questions on this trigger, the installation of any 700 or any trigger, with that being said, feel free to give us a call on the tech line or leave a comment below. We'll be happy to help you out. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.